Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the City of Farmers Branch regular City Council meeting. It is Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. The time is 6:01 p.m. We will begin with our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation will be led by Jason Davila, who is a seminary professor and also serves at the Branch Church here in Farmers Branch. And our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Bob Berner.
Good evening. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. And we thank you for the great love, mercy, and grace of Jesus Christ. We thank you for his life, death, and resurrection on our behalf. And in particular, we remember his birth this time of year and the great demonstration of your love that is to this world. Father, tonight we ask that you would grant wisdom, grace, focus, strength, and endurance as we gather here. And we ask for your blessing upon our city leaders as they give of their time and their energy. Grant them all that they would need to lead us and to guide us. Bless them, Lord. We ask these things in your Son's holy and precious name. Amen.
If you'll follow me in the pledge, pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Next is our ceremonial items. F1 is a presentation of the Mansky Library Bookmark Contest winners. So the second annual bookmark contest at Farmers Branch Mansky Library Contest was open to anyone interested. Originally coinciding with National Library Week in April, the pandemic stretched the contest through August. The library received 22 submissions and reviewed in 4 different age categories. Our local Farmers Branch Public Art and Culture Committee were invited to virtually judge entries based on various criteria around the Summer Reading Club's theme, Imagine Your Story. The 22 bookmarks were also prominently displayed at the library entrance, allowing the public to vote on their overall favorite. The winners all received a customized t-shirt showcasing their champion bookmarks, and the winning bookmarks are now freely available to the public at the library. And I believe we have with us Derek Whitener, who's from the Art and Culture Committee. He's there in the back, so thank you for lending your committee and your time and judging these wonderful artists. And we also have Ryan and Denise from the library who are proudly displaying the shirts mentioned in kind of the summary of the library contest winners. So appreciate you wearing those and showcasing the artists. But before honoring the winners tonight, we do want to recognize that all the talented participants did an outstanding job in their submissions. And so the award victors of the 2020 bookmark contest are in the 7 and under age group, Aurora Santos. And if you are here, you can come up and we'll take a picture. If not, totally understand. I know, given the time, not everyone might want to be at a public meeting. 8 to 12 age group is Zanya Youssef. 13 to 17 age group, Adam Roth. The adult group is Steve Main, who is also, I guess, the proud artist of the mural hanging in the entrance to the library as well. In the public vote from the adult group, Josefina Cardona. So a round of applause to all of our winners. And we do have Zanya Youssef here, so if you want to come up, we can. Do you want to say anything? No? Okay. Always have to ask. Thank you very much. Again, we have a lot of talented people in the city, and it's always a pleasure to have an opportunity to showcase that, especially here at a city council meeting. So I suggest all of you find some time to get by the library and pick up your own bookmark, your own favorite. So next is F2, presentation of a proclamation recognizing Small Business Saturday in the city of Farmers Branch. Since we don't have a meeting between now and Thanksgiving, or I guess Black Friday, I do want to give a shout out to all our small businesses, especially during this difficult time, who be mindful if you are going to shop this holiday season, support those local businesses that have been struggling so mightily this past year, especially those in Farmers Branch. But proclamation, whereas the government of Farmers Branch celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. According to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 31.7 small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.9% of all firms with paid employees in the United States and are responsible for 65.1% of the net new jobs created from 2000 to 2019. And whereas small businesses employ 47.1% of the employees in the private sector in the United States, 62% of U.S. small businesses reported that they need to see consumer spending return to pre-COVID levels by the end of 2020 in order to stay in business. 65% of U.S. small business owners said it would be most helpful to their businesses to have their regulars return and start making purchases again. And 3/4 of the U.S. consumers are currently looking for ways to shop small and support their community. And whereas 96% of consumers who shopped on Small Business Saturday agree that shopping at small, independently owned businesses support their commitment to making purchases that have a positive social, economic, and environmental impact. And 97% of consumers who shopped on Small Business Saturday agree that small businesses are essential to their community. And whereas 95% of consumers who shopped on Small Business Saturday reported the day makes them want to shop or eat at small, independently owned businesses all year long, not just during the holiday season. And whereas Farmers Branch, Texas supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities, and whereas advocacy groups as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, Robert C. Dye, Mayor of the City of Farmers Branch, do hereby proclaim November 28, 2020 as Small Business Saturday and urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year. All right. Next up is our report on study session items, which will be led by Councilmember Baumgartner.
Yes, we had a good conversation in the study session, and I'm going to go through this quickly, but if you'd like more detail, the video is available online if there's a subject you'd like to learn more about. A1 is discuss regular agenda items, and there was a question about J7, which is on the agenda tonight for outsourcing street sweeping. And there's a question about the fact that the city does own a street sweeper, but not enough to do all of our streets, and that is really used for cleaning up following flooding or for special events, and this will extend the life. They expect our current street sweeper to last another 5 years, but we'll continue to outsource the balance of that. There's also a conversation about L3, which is appointing a mayor pro tem and a deputy mayor pro tem. The council decided on Councilman Norwood to continue in the role as mayor pro tem and Councilwoman Rutana as deputy mayor pro tem. A2 was to discuss access for BYOB for establishments without a liquor license. And we went over a draft ordinance in the meeting, and we talked about the times it would be permissible and how we would help manage this, requiring peace officers, depending on how many people were there, to be in attendance to prevent issues. We had a conversation about what the appropriate time to end was, and while there was a slight lean towards midnight, we were kind of split on that between 2 a.m. and 12 midnight. We're going to have more discussion on that in the future, and but that is a policy that will be coming forward. A3 was to talk about accessory structures. And basically, what we're trying to allow is accessory structures in the backyard that don't, there's a consensus that don't create any safety hazards of any kind, so there'd be access for fire, and doesn't prevent, block your neighbor's view. That what you do, build in your own backyard, we try to be more accommodating. We've had just a couple of instances where people wanted to do something different, but the ordinance was written in such a way that wouldn't allow them. So the staff is going to bring back a rewrite on that ordinance in the future, and we're going to take a look at that. A4, we had a conversation about campaign contributions and potentially limiting it to $500 or $250, with the idea of businesses that do business with the city being excluded from making contributions. And we were a little split. The lean was more towards forcing or creating a policy of limiting, and that, again, this is a conversation that's going to continue and go forward with in the future. And then A5 was to discuss future agenda items, and one of the things that was brought forward by the mayor was code. Talking about one of the big challenges we have in the city is code enforcement. It's the most difficult thing for the staff to do. It's the area of the city that has the highest turnover, and what we're talking about doing, the mayor suggested, was to have a conversation about perhaps putting a committee together with citizens to outline and define more clearly the process of that, because it's just a difficult area. Councilman Lynn also wants a discussion on the homeless situation in the city, and I think we'll have that conversation in the future. And the last item was also from Councilman Lynn, talking about building inspection. Apparently, there's some developments that have taken housing remodeling that's taken over 6 years and has kind of disrupted the neighborhood. And to talk about how we create a policy that prevents that from happening again. Again, much more detail online if you're interested, and Mayor, that concludes the report on the study session.
Councilmember Baumgartner, thank you very much. Next is the Mayor and City Manager's report on items of community interest. Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. The Regional Transportation Committee of the NCTCOG, also known as the COG, has awarded the City of Farmers Branch a $5.88 million grant for street improvements to be used along Valley View Lane and Denton Drive within the station area. The Valley View Lane Street Improvement Project from Josie Lane to Stemmons Freeway is now complete, except for striping. This included panel repairs and an asphalt overlay. With cases of COVID-19 on the rise nationwide and here in Texas, the Dallas County Public Health Committee has issued holiday advice for Thanksgiving to include dramatic limits on travel, family gatherings, and indoor meals with large groups. Instead, the committee suggests traveling on non-traditional days, holding virtual family gatherings, and/or eating outside if possible. To eliminate grease backups and clogs in our municipal water supply, the Citizens Collection Center will operate a 2020 holiday grease roundup this month. Staff will accept used cooking oil and grease starting Saturday, November the 28th at no cost to the city or the residents. A reminder that all City of Farmers Branch offices and facilities will be closed on Thursday, November the 26th for Thanksgiving Day. Most offices will remain closed on Friday. There will be no garbage or recycling pickup on Thanksgiving Day, but regular routes will run on Friday. Bulk pickup week for the Green Grabber will be December 7th through 11th. Our Animal Adoption Center will host a low-cost animal vaccine clinic at City Hall on December the 12th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And as the holidays approach, the Dallas Morning News will be featuring our holiday marketplace and skating under the stars event. More information can be found at christmasinthebranch.com. A number of major improvements have begun at the Mansky Library, which are anticipated to continue through early spring. And finally, you can sign up for e-news at farmersbranchtx.gov to receive current city news and information by email or by following the city on social media. And Mayor, that's the city manager's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Next is citizen comments. There's a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak with a reasonable limitation on speakers on one topic or item with a maximum of 15 total minutes on the same topic. Anyone wishing to speak shall be courteous and cordial. We don't have anyone signed up to speak tonight, but I do want to make an announcement going forward in the future, starting in 2021 in January. If you would like to speak at citizen comments at a public hearing or at a regular agenda item, we're going to have options available to sign up either through the city website or in person, but those requests must be turned in 30 minutes prior to the meeting the day of. So you have until 5:30 the day of the city council meeting to turn in that request to speak to said item. That is an effort to hopefully streamline some of our meetings and make sure that we get all those requests in and can plan appropriately. And hopefully with some of the requests coming in allows us an opportunity to make sure staff and other people are able to provide better feedback. So that will be taking place starting in January. Next is our consent agenda. J6 will be postponed until 12:15 meeting. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of J1 through J5 and J7 through J9. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Norwood. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. We are going to jump ahead quickly. We are going to do L1 and L2 at this time because I can't wait to get this guy sitting behind me out of here. It's also his birthday this week, and so we want to make sure he can get to that dinner. So with that, we will do L1, consider approving resolution number 2020-156, canvassing the election returns of the November 3rd, 2020 election for elected mayor at large and council member District 2, included in swearing in the duly elected city council members, and mayor remarks and take appropriate action. And so it's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Farmers Branch, Texas, canvassing and declaring the results of the November 3rd, 2020 general election for mayor and city council member District 2 and providing an effective date. Whereas the returns of the general election have been duly and legally made and submitted to the City Council for canvassing, and a tabulation of the returns for polling places and for early voting as canvassed and tabulated by the governing body as followed. Candidate Brenda Broderick, total votes 6,006. Candidate Robert Dye, total votes 7,855. That is for mayor. And council member District 2, Michael Driscoll, 1,622 votes. Nick Ratty, 866. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Farmers Branch, Texas, that Section 1, the general election for the officers of mayor and councilmember District 2 was duly called, and the notice of said election was given in accordance with the law, and that said election was held in accordance with the law, and that it is determined that for District 2, Michael Driscoll is duly declared elected, and Robert C. Dye is duly declared mayor. Do I have a motion to approve? A motion to approve by Councilmember Blackson. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Norwood. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Mr. Driscoll, congratulations. You ready?
So I got the honor of swearing in Mayor Dye for his second term, and It's interesting that I find myself here because almost 4 years ago, when he ran the first time, I strongly supported his opponent, proving once again that I am not infallible, because he's done a fantastic job for the city. And I commend the residents on their voting and reappointing him. So, anyway, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will fully execute the duties of mayor for the city of Farmers Branch and will do the best of, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and this state. So help me God.
Say buckle in. We got about 30 minutes here. We don't want to make Bronson late for his dinner. No, I just want to thank not only everyone that voted for me, but everyone that participated in the democratic process and in this election. It's important for our city that so many people came out. I think this is the largest election we've ever had for city council races, and I know that there were special circumstances that created that opportunity. And it was kind of, where's it going to fall? Where's it going to land? How many people are actually going to turn out? But the fact that 71% of our residents turned out not only to vote for president, for congressmen and women, for our state electeds, it was truly a wonderful effort to see that many people come out and be a part of the process and to meet so many new people in our city. And it's a testament to the growth that we've had and a lot of the success that we've been seeing in the city of Farmers Branch. And over the past 3.5 years, I want to thank each council member that I've had the honor of serving with: Terry, Mike, Bronson, John, Christelle, and Anna. You have all taught me a lot, wonderful friendships, and you keep each meeting interesting. I do value all of your opinions, and I definitely want to hear them, because even if we differ, the thought that your different opinion might make me think a little bit differently is something I cherish. It's something that I think we're going to continue with in the future. And, I'm just excited for what Farmers Branch has in store. And as a hometown kid, it's just an honor to be back standing up here for 2.5 more years. Sadly, as a lame duck, but I promise you that I'll put in even more effort than I put in the last 3.5 years. So you don't have to worry about that. But I wanted to, I asked Amy if I had to actually stand up here and say anything. She said that I did. I thought about just being like, cool, I'll continue on and let Michael get to his show. But, today, I figured I'd speak. Today's a good day. Today our community has confirmed not only what they want, but what they also need. As I was recently told by a concerned resident, our wants and our needs aren't always aligned, and that we need to listen to all of the residents. Well, unlike any election in our city's history, 71% of the voters showed up, and they voted on not only what they wanted, but what they needed. It's refreshing to see those two things align, because sometimes they don't. Sometimes you need 1,000 signatures to actually stop progress, but when you want 1,000 votes, you fall short. As you can see, sometimes wants and needs aren't always aligned. But today our community confirms that they are looking for from leadership and from individuals is whose hearts are in the right place and who are committed to serving our entire community. The days are gone of an out-of-touch vocal minority driving the narrative in our city, away from a time when we weren't focused on pushing for a brighter future, but more focused on driving division in our beloved city. And I'm happy to report that those days are in the past. In Farmers Branch, we are moving forward. Our focus is now to think out of the box, to push for innovation, and to find creative ways to achieve more with less. Today we add a focus on saying yes and asking why not for our future, finding ways to improve our services, add to our amenities, take care of our infrastructure, protect and support our first responders, and to do so within a budget that is for and benefits all. What we want today and what we need today is an aim towards that brighter future, a better, more unified Farmers Branch. And those being sworn in today understand that. Today was a good day for Farmers Branch. Today, democracy won. Thank you. Do I need to? Michael's. So, next is, I guess, the farewell remarks from former Councilmember Bronson Blackson and the welcome remarks from newly elected Councilmember Michael Driscoll. And Michael, do you have the individual that be swearing you in today? Okay. All right. Well, since we're going to be doing it all, I guess everyone can join me down at the bottom. So I'll make my way back down there. As you know, today is Councilmember Blackson's last day in office. And, you know, it's kind of bittersweet. It's bittersweet, and I know that his heart has always been in the city, growing up here, going to our schools, raising his kids here, bringing his business back home here, and what he does on a daily basis is love this city. And it's bittersweet because I know he gets to spend time with his family, his new family, and spend the time with some of his older kids. Mac, you know, I know it's your last year in school, and Bronson wanted to be there for that and his family, and it's commendable that he's going to choose that. I know he'll be back. I've already been talking to him about sucking him back into some other committees and other things to stay involved in the city, so you're not done yet. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, Leslie. But, you know, I do want to offer my appreciation to Bronson Blackson, and handed one of these out, but key to the City of Farmers Branch, presented to Bronson Blackson. Thank you for your commitment and dedicated service from 2008 to 2017 as Planning and Zoning Commissioner, and from 2017 to 2020 as City Council Member, District 2. And before I hand this to him, you know, I just want to say that Bronson's commitment goes beyond that time served. It goes beyond the impacts you see on our west side, the amount of growth and development that we as a community have seen and felt. His fingerprints are all over this community the last 12 and a half years, almost 13. Feels like 26 for Bronson. But, you know, it's not just that time. It's what he gives to the community, what his family has given to the community in terms of bricks for new buildings, charitable contributions. You know, that love that I was talking about for his hometown, for the city, is far-ranging. And if you didn't have such an impact, I wouldn't be giving you this, but I felt it was an honor that, you know, you've done so much for so many that this kind of recognizes that anyone and everyone should open their door for you. So it's been an honor.
It's hard to follow that. I think, oh, where shall I begin? You know, I think the population of Farmers Branch was slightly over 28,000. George W. Bush was our president, and my twin boys were 20 days old. It was a Tuesday, April 1st, 2008, a beautiful spring morning. I walked into City Hall some 4,613 days ago. I was scheduled to meet with the newly hired Andy Gillies for training that I had recently been appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. It seems like just yesterday. It doesn't feel like it was long ago until you put it into context of time. I was 28 years old, and I wasn't sure what I had gotten myself into. I just knew I had made a commitment to the city, and that I was going to serve the city of Farmers Branch. I've learned a lot during the past 12 years. I've humbly matured. I've grown as a person. Meanwhile, our city has grown and matured right alongside me. President Reagan said it best: there's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you do not care who gets the credit. I didn't come here for the achievement. nor am I the type that needs or wants accolades. I didn't come here with an agenda or beholden to any group or anyone. I came here to do the right thing. And to do the right thing for all the residents and all the businesses here at Farmers Ranch, not just those who elected me in District 2. I came here with a simple idea, to make Farmers Ranch a better place. Now that my duties concluded, I will rest easier knowing that I left Farmers Branch a little bit better than I found it. I call it the Boy Scout way, and that's to leave no trace, yet leave it better than you found it. The end of this day marks the end of my tenure, and as I walk away, I'm proud to look at myself in the mirror, knowing that I gave each and every decision my full and unbiased attention. Now to my thank yous. First, I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Heather, for her candor, her compassion, and her undying support. She really helped me realize that there's no popular way to make what sometimes are very difficult decisions, but to rather act with conviction and allow each and every decision to stand on its own. To my beloved children, Mackenzie, Preston, Jacob, Ashton, and little Miss Presley. I want to thank each of you from the bottom of my heart for your patience, and most of all, for your understanding the times I missed your games and school events. A few nights ago, at dinner, we shared some laughs when Mac looked at me and she said, if she asked if she could hold the Bible to swear me out, since she held it when I was sworn in. I want to thank City Manager Charles Cox for his astute leadership, his unfettered opinions, and most of all, for hiring and managing a damn fine group of employees. Without question, his staff provides the best and highest level of service to the people who live, work, and play here in Farmers Branch. To Lord Mayor Dye, former Mayor Phelps, Council Members Rotana, Norwood, Lynn, Baumgartner, and former Councilmember Reyes, it was truly a privilege and honor to serve beside each of you. Yes, there were times when we did not all agree, but when the dust settled for me, it did not change our friendships. You all showed me that good colleagues are those who know that we is more powerful than any me. And most of us, and most of all, that character is fact and number, but it's our deeds, not words, that actually define who we are. I want to thank my mom and dad and all of our great employees at Blackson Brick for their endurance and tolerance over the years. I know that my dad is especially happy to have me back and focused on work full time. I would be remiss if I failed to thank those mentors who have inspired me over the years. First, I want to thank my Scoutmaster, Ken Earthman, who showed me what it meant to be a man for another and to always do the right thing. I want to thank former Councilmember Harold Freilich for advocating for my appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I want to thank former Planning and Zoning Commission Chairman Jason O'Quinn for showing me that conviction and a leader is an incredibly valuable yet increasingly rare trait. I also want to thank former council member and Planning and Zoning Commission Chairwoman Nancy Hardy for helping me understand how our decisions have ripples that extend far beyond the lines on the map. And more so, how my success as a leader depends as much on confidence as it does on competence. I want to thank former Director of Community Services, Andy Gillies, for teaching me to trust my gut and to understand that those instincts cannot be forced. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank former Planning and Zoning Commissioner Jonathan Bingham. We grew up in Boy Scouts together, and his encouragement ultimately led to me getting involved in the city. Words cannot express how grateful I am for all the generosity and support that everyone has shown me over the past 12 years. It's never the right time to step away. But now was the right time for me. It was an incredibly tough decision. A decision that I thought long and hard about. This is not a goodbye, just merely a farewell. The amazing memories and friends I made during this epic journey are the kind that last a lifetime. I'm excited at the opportunity to spend much needed time with my family, and I look forward to refocusing myself on our family business. Thank you all for joining me on this very bittersweet, momentous occasion.
Mr. Driscoll, you're up.
Hi, my name's Mike McGinnis, and I met Michael Driscoll about 4 or 5 years ago. We were taking the same exercise class at the rec center. We became friends, and I saw how much time he was devoting to the city and all his volunteer efforts. So I was mildly surprised but not shocked when he told me that he was running for city council. And since neither one of us knew anything about campaigning, he made me his assistant campaign manager. And it was a tough campaign. We didn't know if we were going to win, but I'm glad that he did, because I know he's a good man and he'll do a great job for the city. So if you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Driscoll,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of City Council District 2
the duties of the City Council District 2
for the City of Farmers Branch,
for the City of Farmers Branch,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and this state,
and this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you all for coming here tonight. It's a real privilege and an honor to be here, to stand here as a newly elected official. And this has been quite an evening already. And in the interest of time management and being efficient as a new council member, I'm going to be very brief. But yeah, when I resigned from planning and zoning in February and then filed to run for city council, I thought, well, this is going to be like a springtime sprint, March, April, election beginning of May. It's obviously been very different, and it's turned into more of a marathon. And so it's been quite a journey, and there's a lot of people I need to thank, and I won't think of all of them, but first of all, I have to thank Nina for putting up with me, and she's also been my campaign manager, and it's a miracle she's stayed with me, and I appreciate that. And as I said, there have been so many people that have been helpful, been encouraging, contributed to my campaign, have given me advice, have given me ideas, and just encouraged me to hang in there, and I'm forever grateful to all of them. And as I said, Nina's at the top of the list, and I don't think I could have done this and without her. And my good friend Mike McGinnis, he's been instrumental. He's helped me. We've walked the neighborhoods in the heat and the cold, and knocked on doors, and had doors slammed in our faces, although we didn't do anything. And I have to thank former mayor, and our longest-serving mayor, Bob Phelps, and his wife Dee, who were supporting me from the beginning. And I'd also like to thank my good friend Steve Parker, recently retired fire chief of Farmers Branch, and my favorite Canadian, by the way. And I'd like to thank I'd like to thank Dan Bergeron. He's been my campaign treasurer and been super helpful and knew all the rules and regulations and things that I didn't. And I'm very grateful for his help. I'd also like to thank Bronson and his family. They've been encouraging and helpful. And I've reached out to him a couple of times for ideas and just his support. And that's been very, very helpful. And as I said, I can't think of everyone, and a lot of people kind of stepped up in the last few weeks, so I'm not going to be able to mention everyone. But there's another little over 50 people that helped me and endorsed me, former council members, men and women, some of them that Bronson mentioned, and a lot of other people that stepped up to support me and encourage me, and I'm forever grateful. They are listed on my campaign website. And I'd just like to say that, this has been very moving and quite a long campaign, much longer than we'd expected. And although I represent District 2, I want to put my best foot forward and not just represent District 2, but also be a positive example for leadership in the council and city government for all of Farmers Branch. And I know I have a lot of work to do, and I'm excited about that. And I'm truly excited about the future of Farmers Branch. And having been on the Planning and Zoning Commission and volunteered and been active in the community in different roles, I see the dynamism and the excitement here in the city. And as Bronson alluded to, when I came here from Germany in 2005, I think the population was 27,000. And I'm not going to mention names, but some older friends of my mother said, "Oh, yeah, Farmers Branch is never going to grow. This is just, we're a little village, and we're almost up to 50,000 people." And so the issues, the city's changing. We've got more challenges with the growth and how to manage that, how to finance that. And I'm excited to contribute and put my skills to work for the city. And I'm just super excited to be part of this body and to help the city move forward in a positive direction and keep the positive momentum and growth and revitalization of different areas of the city. I hope I've earned a brief honeymoon here as I grow into my new role for the next weeks and months. And I'd just like to ask everyone for patience and have a homework assignment for each and every one of you here. Tonight when you go home, I'd like each and every one of you to say a prayer. Your religion doesn't matter. And I'd like you all to say a prayer. That the Lord will give me grace and wisdom and guide me in making the best decisions I can. And to give me patience when things are in a rush. To calm me when things are hectic. And of course, everyone's passionate about different things in the city. And just ask you to say that prayer for me. And I know several friends said when I declared to run, well, half the people are going to love you and half the people are going to hate you. I think hate's a very strong word. And I try to eliminate that from my vocabulary. And I just want to do the best that I can for the city. And I thank you all for coming here tonight. And again, I thank everyone who supported me in my campaign. And I'm excited to get to work. So thank you all.
So before we're done, Bronson, your nameplate has been removed. Councilmember Driscoll, yours has been put up on the dais, so welcome. I do want to extend to you your councilmember lapel pin. So this is for your service on the city council, and wear this every opportunity you get. Also, we have certificates recognizing your appointment. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, this is to certify that an election held on November 3rd, 2020, Michael Driscoll was duly elected as council member, District 2 of the City of Farmers Branch. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of Farmers Branch to be affixed this 17th day of November, 2020. I have one too, but we don't need to read it again.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, next is K1. Conduct a public hearing and consider and adopting ordinance number 3665, approving a specific use permit request to allow guest quarters within a detached accessory structure on an approximately 1 acre property located at 2973 Sunbeck Circle North and take appropriate action. Mrs. Sen.
Thank you, Mayor. Shrupa Sen, Senior Planner. Good evening, everyone. The property that's shaded in green on your screen on the aerial map is the 2973 Sunbeck Circle North. That is the subject property. It's zoned R2, or Single Family Residential District 2, and surrounded by all the single family residential zone properties. These are some of the site photographs showing the existing residential home. That's the bottom photo. And this is the existing detached accessory structure that's on the lot. It's about an acre residential lot. The existing home is 2,800 square feet, and the accessory structure is about 1,200 square feet. The R2 zoning district requires a specific use permit for guest quarters within an accessory building. That's why this application is in front of you tonight. This is the plot map or the survey of the property. As you can see, the existing detached structure is about 41.5 feet away from the rear property line and about 24 feet away from the side property line, which basically shows that the detached structure meets all the setback requirements for this property and this zoning. The proposal is to convert about 900 square feet into the guest quarters and keep the remainder 300 feet as a garage space. The guest quarters will have a bedroom, a bathroom, living area, and a kitchen space. No modification to the exterior is being proposed other than adding this one door, which is shown here as well as here. From the comprehensive plan standpoint, this is within the central area plan. The area is within the low-density residential designation that allows single-family or recommends single-family detached neighborhoods. In the plan, it also recommends considering a living space expansion program because the existing structures do not provide ample opportunities for multi-generational housing. So this request for the accessory dwelling unit to be used as a guest quarters complies with the comprehensive plan goal. Also, as part of the zoning requirement and as per the applicant, this guest quarter will be used by immediate family members, that is their aging parent. And the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval on this SUP application. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any question. Thank you.
Ms. Sin, thank you very much for your presentation. Councilmember Tanner, do you have any comments?
So the unit is, just for clarification, the unit is already there. And
Yes.
so this is, okay. I know.
Councilmember Norwood?
No, I support this. I think that as we move forward and with the changing population trends, we're going to have to look for how we accommodate these needs for multi-generational families, and that's one reason I requested that we also consider in the future the ordinance that Plano put in to allow tiny houses when there's room on these types of properties in R2 and R1. So I do support the request.
I share your sentiments as well. Councilmember Lynn.
Well, I don't see any way that we can really oppose this. What I stated earlier when Ms. Fergens was speaking, or excuse me, Mr. Pender was speaking about the limits to accessory structures on properties. I'm sure, or at least I hope that we will address that. And in what I read, it said that this structure was going to be used by immediate family members, and I believe, at least I thought that I read someplace it said was not going to be rented out, but we cannot prohibit that, or we can't regulate that in any way. This is a structure that's on their property, and if they want to rent out to Airbnb or something, they could do that, correct?
If I understand it right, we do have a rental ordinance or rental program where it prohibits single-family homes from being rented.
And so if they were going to do that, they would have to register with the city, and then they would have to self-report for any type of rental.
I don't think Director Pender is available tonight, but I don't think in single families.
Yes, that's the
Attorney's
case.
saying yes.
So, anyway, it is what it is, and I would just hate to see the rest of that property have additional accessory structures on it. I think hopefully we will consider imposing some type of limitation as we move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Councilmember Baumgartner.
I'm supportive of it, no questions.
Thanks, Mr. Baumgartner. Mr. Driscoll.
I'm also in support of this.
Okay. All right. I don't know that anyone has any additional questions for you, Mrs. Sen. I know the applicant is here. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant at this time? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. I don't have anyone signed up to speak to this item, but if you would like to speak, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I will look for someone to close the public hearing and take action.
Mayor, I move we close the public hearing and approve ordinance 3665.
I have a motion by Councilmember Norwood. Second by Councilmember Rotana. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Good luck. L3, elect Mayor Pro Tem and Deputy Mayor Pro Tem and take appropriate action. I know we had considerable conversation surrounding this item at our study session. Does anyone have any additional comments they'd like to make at this time? Seeing none, I will make a motion to elect Mayor Pro Tem John Norwood and Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Cristal Rotana.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Baumgartner. Any more discussion? Do a roll call vote. Councilmember Rotana? Aye. Councilmember Norwood?
Aye.
Councilmember Lynn? Yes. Councilmember Baumgartner?
Aye.
Councilmember Driscoll?
Aye.
Passes unanimously, 5-0. Congratulations on your new appointments. L4, receive an update on the Safe and Sound program. Mr. Williamson.
Mayor and Council, Ben Williamson, Assistant City Manager. For the Safe and Sound Program update, we're going to start with a brief video and then have questions and answers and interactions with Tracy Eubanks from Metrocrest Services. I'm going to start the video in just a moment.
Let's start by words from Mayor Dye, if you're ready.
Yeah. So, I don't know that I'm able to adequately express my excitement, happiness, pride, and joy that your family is graduating from this program. The idea that we were able to change the lives of just one family to hopefully break the cyclical nature of things and position you all for a much more prosperous future was our ultimate goal. And even if it's just one family at a time or one family a year, In my opinion, progress is progress. And so, this program was kind of birthed out of a conversation between Charles Cox and myself when we were at LA for a conference where mayors, council members, and city leaders kind of come together to share ideas and find pathways forward for our communities. And while we were at dinner, I asked Charles, who is involved in a lot of programs, has a lot of conversations with people, and especially conversations with Metro Crest, and we're so grateful for that partnership. But I kind of asked him, hey, if there was one thing that you could do or one program that you could implement, what would it be? And while that conversation wasn't fully this program, it did center around the idea of helping the youth in our community who were deemed to be, in a position of needing or on the brink of assistance. And so, how could we come together to help stabilize not only their situation so that they could focus on school, but also their parents, and to get them back on track and working towards a brighter future. And so that partnership was formed between the City of Farmers Branch, Metro Crest, and with help from CFBISD to help families in our own backyard. And so council was unanimously supportive of this mission. And even if we were the only community to kind of take the lead and pilot such an innovative program that was built around stability and long-term success, we knew that it was a mission we wanted to take on. And so, over time, hearing accounts from Tracy, me, and Victoria, and the rest of the Metro Crest team, about the challenges, the progress, and the victory was all that I needed to know that we did the right thing. And, being here today, with your family and this amazing support group is probably one of the greatest days for me as mayor. And while we all wonder what our impact was or the difference that we made, seeing you all graduate and being optimistic about what's next and the growth that you'll experience in the coming years, for me, is what it's all about. So just want to thank you for trusting this team, trusting the program, and putting in all of the hard work and sacrifice that you put in to get to where you are today. And so just so extremely proud of everyone here, and wishing you all nothing but the best in the future. And hopefully we'll get to see you all again when there's some type of reunion for you and other families that have also graduated from this program. So just want to extend my happiness, my joy, and just my excitement for you all. And thank you for participating, and wishing you all the best and the success that you've achieved through now and will achieve in the future. So thanks.
I know your story really well. I carry it with me all the time, but everyone on the Zoom call may not know the details of your story and kind of where you came from and where you've been able to take your family. So, Melanie began working with your family before I did because of disaster relief. So, Renee, Donna, and Elena, will you tell us a little bit about why Metro Crest got involved with your family at that time?
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah. Well, in June, in the year.
It's Father's Day.
It was
not this past June, but
last year. It was unfortunate that we were in a tornado, and
we didn't even think that much damage happened.
we really didn't until
I opened the door and the whole front porch was gone. It was crazy.
It took almost everything that we had. We didn't have much. But it took
the little we had.
Yeah, it took
the
little that we had. And we were fortunate, Melanie to come help us.
Well,
But first it was Red Cross, right?
Well, let me tell you, when it really happened that day, I was not in my best mood. Because we were already going through stuff through the family. So I was not in my best mood. I remember not even wanting to stay that whole night in apartments. I went to my nephew's, and I think I got a phone call. I don't know if it was Melanie or another lady that worked in the office, telling me to go to the hotel that was down the street to meet up. And I was like, I didn't even want to go. I was just not in the mood. I was depressed, probably down, just lost everything. And then, that's when we went to the hotel. I met with the Red Cross first. And then I remember them saying they were offering rooms there. And I said, well, we might as well take it, because who's gonna take in our big family? I didn't want to be a burden, our big family. So we did, we ended up getting 2 rooms, and then I think Melanie wanted to start talking to us again about a different program. And then I met up with by myself with Melanie, downstairs, and she was we were doing a application, I believe. She's telling me a little bit about the program that we might be able to think we're good candidates and stuff. And I probably cried a few tears with her. And then I think our second meeting was with my mom, and she told us more about it then, and that she would get back with us on that following Monday to see if we got in the program.
Perfect, thank you for that. So already having a tough time with some health issues in your family, and then the disaster hits, and it really brings you to a low point, I think, emotionally especially. So we enroll you in the program. What did those early appointments with me look like? Me and Melanie, because we both did them in the beginning.
I mean, y'all were great. Y'all were always great. I think I was the more stubborn one. I just like, whatever, I don't care, I don't want to do this. I think it was just kind of like, I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. I need to do it for my kids. Because, at that time, well, I obviously didn't work, and then my husband got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, so he didn't work. So that took both our incomes away. So it was basically my mom and Elena struggling to do high school and struggling the little bit that she could help at that time.
I think it was just sounds like for me. I think when they told us like these people are really, but it was just like kind of too good to be true. You don't get people like that around you all the time. So I think for us, it's just like at first it was like a little too good to be true.
Oh, and I want to thank the city of Farmers Branch too, because I love Farmers Branch. I have lived in Farmers Branch since I was 16 years old, in these same apartments, off and on. But the longest I've been here is probably now, oh Lord, probably 15 years straight now. But I love Farmers Branch. I love everything about Farmers Branch. People are always like, oh my God, Farmers Branch, no. And I'm like, no, I love Farmers Branch.
So Mayor and Council, that was the story of the Lomas family. They were the first family to graduate from the Safe and Sound program, and I felt it important to let you hear firsthand their experience. The goal of the video and these graduations, we hope to repeat this process over and over again. The first one was with the mayor, the second one was within Councilman Blackson's district, as we will have graduations from all of your districts, so this will be an opportunity for all of y'all to interact with these residents that you're directly helping. And I'm going to hand it over to Tracy Eubanks.
Good evening, Tracy Eubanks, MetroCrest Services. That's a lot better than a PowerPoint, isn't it? And I think what that video illustrated was that there's different components to this program, not just housing, but financial literacy. It's multi-generational. You had 3 generations there that it didn't come out in the video, but they all were doing financial literacy with us and coaching and looking for work. The young lady in the video had dropped out of high school to help pay for the family, and she went back and she did graduate earlier this year, I guess it was. So thank you very much. That happened because of you, because of your willingness to take a chance on us in this program that we've proven we believe is an integral part of what we do. Just a couple comments. We started this journey sometime after the meeting you guys had at a bar in California. It was something we've been wanting to do more as related to housing. It's hard to convince families to stick with you and do financial education and budgeting and creating spending plans and learning about credit scores when they're not sure where they're going to live the next day. So this particular program gave us the opportunity to provide more housing to stabilize the family so we could focus on coaching and spending time and building partnerships and relationships. So the purpose was to add that additional housing component, something we already did, but we didn't do enough housing. It allowed us to do that. This program is all about Farmers Branch families with a child. They had to be truly housing unstable, on the verge of homelessness, or really right on the edge of being homeless, very unstable housing situation. And they had to want to do this. The Lomas family, we had to talk about it. We had to make sure they were the right fit, that it was good for them, because sometimes you put people in a situation where they can't succeed, and so we felt they'd be great. 4 things we were focused on in this particular program. One is while we're helping them and for 12 months beyond, that they stay housed. And so everybody has to stay housed, and we're still too early to know if they're in their 12 months beyond, but so far, so good. The children stay in their home school. We don't want children changing schools. It impacts academic success. We wanted the adults to be committed to financial education. Most of us did not take budgeting in school. A lot of us did not really understand the basics of financial transactions and such. And so the purpose was to spend more time there, as well as to talk more about jobs, improving wages, going back to school, getting a GED, and so forth. I won't go into all the statistics, but we were focused on kids. About 40 kids have been through the program so far. Most of those are CFB ISD kids, some DISD kids as well. Unfortunately, because of COVID, most of our families in the program have been impacted negatively in some way, either through job loss, health issues, and so forth. And I didn't mention, but also about 70% of the families in the program are a single parent head of household. One stat I would throw out is that since we started the program through September of 2020, because of your assistance, we've assisted with 3,360 nights of housing. So a lot of folks are able to stay housed because of this program. We've had hundreds of coaching sessions, financial coaching and workforce coaching. We've had some of the adults go into our GED program, and they're in that program now to get their GED. And the 2 things that really stand out to me again is every family we've assisted with the program has stayed housed, and every child that in a family that's of school age has stayed in school in their school, 100%. So that matters a lot to us for the rest of this program. I want to make it short, so just I want to thank you very much for taking a chance on this program. It's made a big difference to us. It's the model that we believe will be integrated into everything that we do. COVID obviously is changing things for us a little bit. We're helping a lot with housing right now. We're not able to spend as much time on some other things with the broad range of families that we're assisting. Just since March 1st, and because of your assistance and through CARES funding, overall, we've written about 2,000 rent checks in about 8 months, compared to probably about 200, 300 the year before. So thank you very much for helping us keep people housed. We're excited about the program, and thank you for continuing to support it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Eubanks, thank you for your leadership, thank you for your efforts, and thank you for working not only with us, but with the school district on identifying families in our community that needed more than just a hand up. They needed more than just 1 month of rent or rental assistance, but needed much more than that. And hopefully it was a change of mindset, a change of philosophy, and the rewards are, seeing not only the Lomas family, but the second family, the third, and everyone in this program, develop the long-term tools necessary to hopefully break the cyclical nature of poverty and being on the brink of homelessness, to where it not only stabilizes the head of the household, but teaches a lesson to the next generation and the generations after that, so that they're not in this situation and hopefully have a much more prosperous future. But more importantly, right now, they're able to focus on their education and building towards that future. And without your leadership and helping to develop this pilot, that hopefully becomes something that is more of the way forward in terms of how we help treat homelessness and to identify it early instead of when it's too late, is hopefully the new model that not only in our community but other communities are able to grab a hold of, and kind of uses a benchmark and a tool to help them with similar situations. So I just want to thank you for that and what you've done for not only these families but our community, and just very appreciative.
Thank you,
with that, Councilmember Rotana, anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you said it best, Mayor. Just thank you for all that you do, and thank you for the update and the work that Victoria has been doing. I think has been amazing. So please thank her on our behalf. Big supporter of the organization, and so just thank you for all that you do for our community.
Thank you. Councilmember Norwood?
No specific comments, but Tracy, it's good to see you. Thanks for the update.
No, thank you for
Thanks
having
for what
me.
you do.
Anytime.
Councilmember Lynn? Good.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Baumgartner?
No questions, but again, thank you for everything you're doing for our community.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Driscoll?
Yes, I have no questions. I'd just like to also echo my colleagues' congratulations and thank you for your dedication to the community, and coming out of a financial background and how important it is, financial education, and helping people so they can make really lifelong changes and improve their lives in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Driscoll.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you for
Thanks
being
for the
here.
opportunity.
Next is L5. Consider approving resolution number 2020-158, authorizing the purchase of recreational center fitness equipment from Technogym and ComFit, and take appropriate action. You ready for this? All right.
All right, good evening, Mayor Dye, council members. My name is Emmanuel Pulido. I'm the recreation supervisor over fitness. We are seeking approval to purchase fitness equipment for phase 1 of the renovation in the amount of $386,512.04. Here's a little information regarding the project. We started working on this in September 2019 when we began gathering feedback from the community using Listen 360, focus groups, and help from the Park and Recreation Board. The quotes were also presented at the Park and Recreation Board during the September meeting this year, and they were in unanimous support. The first quote we see here is going to be from Technogym. Technogym offers top-of-the-line cardio and selectorized equipment. They are the leading innovators when it comes to built-in technology. These pieces will connect with your smart devices and have features like Netflix and biofeedback. The total cost for this quote is going to be $201,506.18. The other part of the quote is from ComFit. They offer top-of-line equipment like hoist, Legend, power systems, and more. We're going to be purchasing power racks, Smith machines, benches, dumbbells, barbells, weight plates, cable stations, plate-load equipment, and more. The total for this is $185,005.86. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Okay. Councilmember Town, any questions? Councilmember Norwood.
I have no questions. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Councilmember Lynn.
So when do you expect that we'll see equipment getting installed, and when do we hope to have the building open and fully operational?
As far as the equipment goes, we're expecting that delivery in March. Unfortunately, there are some pretty long lead times, but if we get started on this soon, we'll be able to get it around March. And as in regards to the opening date, I don't have the exact date for that yet.
Any more questions, Mr. Lynn? Okay. Councilmember Baumgartner.
Is all of this equipment going to be used in addition? I'm thinking about like the barbells and the dumbbells. Are we keeping that product that we already have, or are we replacing barbells and dumbbells as well?
That's a good question. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving the free weight area downstairs. So we are going to keep some of the barbells. We're not keeping any of the dumbbells because they are pretty out to date. Most of this equipment that we have in terms of free weights has been here since 2004. So that's going to be in addition to what we currently have, but free weights and all that's going to be new, and it's going to be downstairs.
So it's just addition you're going to keep?
Correct.
Councilmember Driscoll.
I don't have any questions at this time. I'd just like to thank you, Emmanuel, for the presentation. And it's nice to see former students succeeding.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I move to approve the purchase of the fitness equipment.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. I have a second by Councilmember Rotana. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed unanimously. Next is L6. Consider approving resolution number 2020-164, authorizing Signature Automation LLC to provide SCADA design and implementation services and take appropriate action. Mr. Bentley.
Mayor, members of the council, as an ongoing effort of IT to secure our city and our digital end of the business, Public Works and IT have worked together to come up with this contract that's before you, and this contract will completely overhaul our SCADA system, which will bring it up to date because it is outdated, and also make it more secure. So we will be changing out all the radios and everything. So the whole system will be completely brand new and more secure than it has been. So with that said, I'm recommending approval of contract to Signature Automation in the amount of $310,300.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Rotana. Councilmember Norwood. Councilmember Lynn.
Mark, what does that leave us in the non-bond CIP fund in terms of rough balance?
$2.5 million.
Very good, thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Baumgartner.
No questions.
Councilmember Driscoll.
No questions.
All right.
For at least a few more months.
Yeah.
For at least a few more months. I have plans to spend all that.
All right. Given that no one has any additional questions, look for action.
Mayor, move to, oh, go ahead.
No. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
I have a motion by Councilmember Driscoll.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Baumgartner. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Next is to take action as a result of the closed executive session. Councilmember Rotana.
Mayor and council, I move that the city manager be authorized to take such action on behalf of the city as may be reasonable and necessary to purchase or authorize the purchase of Lot 42, Block S, Valwood Park, Addition Number 3, also known as 2560 Wicker, for a purchase price not to exceed $154,500 plus all closing and acquisition costs, and to sign or authorize the city's agent to sign such other agreements, documents, and any amendments thereto as the city manager, in consultation with the city attorney, deems reasonable and necessary with respect to the closing of said transaction.
I have a motion by Councilmember Rotana. Second by Councilmember Norwood. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Passed unanimously. Seeing that we have no other business to conduct, I will adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:18. Thank you all.